I don't. You know what my wife thought that noise was?
What?
She thought the imitation was supposed to be a dolphin. She doesn't know anything about Jerry. And then I broke it down.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh,
here we go. Thank you, Alex.
I actually downloaded the song because I like it so much.
Did you buy did you actually buy the song?
Yeah.
Worth every penny.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Anyway,
yeah, every time I play it, I see Kevin's face.
Everybody, my name is Christopher Bell. I'm a certified CPA accountant. I'm a long-term Boglehead investor. I'm author of the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. You should each buy 20 copies so I can get rich and you can be poor. And welcome to our weekly live stream. I got Fabio here. Got Alex Valuehead. I got Jay Nagy, who's getting back from the truck stop. And then we'll have our hero, what's his name, Nathan, show up. He actually got a new camera, so we might actually be able to see Nathan and his pure, delicious, unsullied skin.
Sexy, young.
I want to see him perform live. I want to see him do his comedy sketch. I'll drive down to Tampa. I don't care.
Yeah, you're not that far from there, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm actually, I'm pretty close. I'm in Orlando, so.
Ooh, Orlando. Yeah, I actually went to Orlando for my honeymoon, and everything was shut down. It was great.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
But I got a hotel for it was I got like a Comfort Inn. I thought it was gonna be trash, and I get there, and it was like super nice. I was like, wow, this is a Comfort Inn. It was like $30 a month or a night because everything was locked down. They had no business, so they were offering like dirt cheap prices.
Yeah,
delicious hotel for like $30.
Oh no, I did a staycation during that time. I literally just stayed at hotels here and there because they were so cheap. Even in Miami was really cheap. You could have gotten really nice hotels for like nothing because they were desperate.
Yeah, we thought about driving down to Miami, but it was just too freaking far. So we just stopped in Orlando, did 2 nights there, went to Gatorland, and then
Gatorland, yeah. We have Gatorland.
I'm gonna bring my 7-month-old son there and hold him over the water.
Red Dead Redemption, man.
You guys all know about the incident at the Disney hotel, right? With the child and the gator.
Oh yeah, the gator got the kid.
Yeah.
It hits a lot more home now that I actually have a kid, but it's. I was definitely a little bit shocked even when I heard about that happening.
It's Florida. It's like, you don't do that.
That's one thing that scares me about moving there is like, okay, I have 2 freaking small kids, or I'm about to have 2 small kids. It's like there's freaking gators and snakes and crap everywhere. And what about if I have a dog?
If you're in the suburbs, you're gonna be completely fine, unless you have like a lake house. Then you're gonna have to worry about that until they grow up, and you're not gonna you can't let them go out in the back. But no, you'd be fine if the suburbs. There's nothing like crazy. What do you guys have up in Virginia? Like, don't you have like bears? Something? What do you have?
We have trees.
Mm-hmm.
We have grass.
Mm-hmm.
We do have bears. So a quick story. I went hiking with my father-in-law, and there's actually these like bear hunters, and they have these dogs. And what they do is they put this like collar on the dog, and it's got this super long antenna that's like 5 or 6 feet long, so they can like track where the dog's location is. So you'll see these trucks going by in the mountains for bear hunters. You'll see these freaking dogs with these freaking antennas like wobbling over their heads. It's freaking hilarious.
Are you taking your kids to do that or not? Hunting?
Bear hunting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll use them as bait. I'll cover them in
But now, Chris, come down for the taxes. Come down here for the taxes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only reason I'm going to stay in Virginia probably is because my parents live here. My wife's parents live here. It's just like, But if I had to move somewhere, it'd be like either Austin or Florida.
Only Austin, Texas? Just nowhere else in Texas? Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. That's it.
Why?
Austin's freaking nice, man. Have you been there?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, everywhere. Texas is like an ugly state. Don't worry, guys. We'll talk about stocks in a second. Jesus.
Oh, there's a decent amount of things that occurred this week.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so I've been doing taxes, because I'm a wage slave. I'm a loser with a job. So Fabio or Alex, why don't you update us on what happened in the markets this week?
Well,
Let Alex go first.
Russia is on the brink of invading Ukraine, right? So that modifies some of the trend we're having in the markets.
Yeah, Mother Russia. What do you think about Mother Russia? You think Mother Russia is going to invade, Fabio, and markets are going to tank, and we're all going to go to zero?
Well, definitely not go to zero, and I have no idea whether or not they will or will not invade. I know what the media is hyping, and then I know maybe in reality it's like the real answer is we don't know. We don't know the truth. There are a lot of ways that we can play this, like for example, commodity plays, but that's not something I would really recommend to do. But yeah, that would be one way to play. Like for example, potash. It was, I think, Lithuania completely stopped transportation of potash, and the potash is skyrocketing right now. It's actually at the highest ever.
What is it called? Potash?
Yeah, potash. Basically, think fertilizer. And so yeah, that's basically what's going on there. So all the fertilizer stocks are hitting all-time highs right now. And that has actually more to do with the sanctions, not really the conflict that might occur. It's more the sanctions that the United States is imposing to kind of as a precursor to this quote unquote conflict. But yeah, that's that aspect. Then there's all the fears on the media talking about inflation. That's basically what everyone's talking about now. And
look, here's the thing with inflation. I think it's a bunch of BS. Okay, number one, I think it's going to be temporary. Number two, most of the inflation seems to be concentrated in like used cars, new cars, rental cars, a lot of cars. But like there are some other things that aren't really going up in price that much.
No. Well,
inflation is personal, in my opinion. If you like to rent cars, then yeah, you're probably getting your cheeks clapped. Or if you bought a used van like I just did, you got your cheeks clapped. But if you're just like, you don't drive a lot and you just eat food, you're probably not feeling it that bad.
Yeah.
Also, there's a major issue in Canada with the truckers. You can ask Jay about that.
How was I going to forget about that?
I mean, Jay's the expert on truckers,
Yeah. Tell us everything about that,
I've been doing loads of research on that bridge between the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
But they, are they still there, Jay?
Yeah, dude, I gotta have part of my roof replaced. That's why the dude was out there. That's why we had to walk over there and look at it.
No, I mean the truckers in Canada.
Oh, what about them?
Are they still protesting, or they've been removed?
I think so. I don't know.
What is the protest all about? Like, I literally am so disconnected.
They want vaccine mandates for all the truckers, and also they're sick of being locked down. Canada, if you don't know, has basically been a police state for 2 years.
Well, I remember Eric when he came on.
Yeah, remember?
We were all opened up and he was still freaking locked down like a year after. I was like, what is going on up there?
Yeah, so and you're sitting there and I mean basically it's like the police were all too happy up there to act like the Gestapo for, little Eichmann Justin Castro.
Sorry, I put a big fat dip in. Sue me.
No worries. No. But yeah, so basically the truckers are just saying, look, all we're asking for is get rid of the mandates and open up the country. But of course, in a lot of these countries, the government's gotten too used to having this power over people in their lives, so they don't want to give it up. And that's what it's about. So it's like you're overreacting to the unknown virus of unspecified origin. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. But I mean, truckers, in all honesty, as much as I love joking about them, they're about the last group of people that you really want to screw around with, because if they just go, you know what? You want the vaccine mandate? Good. I got a month of leave. And if even if a significant portion of it, 30% of them just said, okay, well, we're not working until you get rid of the vax mandates. You'd shut down the entire country.
Yeah, I've noticed there's still shortages, obviously it's supply chain related, but I mean, I go into Walmart and it's like, where's the freaking chicken at, man? I don't eat steak anymore because it's too expensive. And I
God, it's
chicken.
brutal.
There's no freaking chicken, man, in Walmart. I was disgusted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, steak is just brutal. Like I've told you, my entire grocery bill before COVID for the week was $95 to $110, somewhere in that area. And I'm getting steak, but now it's like $150 to $170.
Yeah, so that's an example of inflation being personal. I mean, it just depends on what you normally buy.
Yeah, and I also think that it's a combination of things. That's just my opinion on it. It's a combination of the stimmy checks going out so people could buy stuff when we weren't producing stuff. And it's also a combination of just shortages that I think will even out eventually. I think the Fed should take some action to cool things down, but I don't think the inflation is as bad as everybody makes it out to be, because I really do think in a year or so, it will really start to slow down once every country opens back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll have to, I mean, to me, it's hilarious. People
Or
obsess
a little bit more. I think a year and a half, probably.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the time frame is, I'm not going to nail it exactly. You might be right. It might be a year and a half from now.
Uh-huh.
Who knows? I mean, you're trying to predict the future, but I do think it will start to trail off. And especially because, I mean, other countries around the world are starting to raise interest rates as much as they can, because most of the Western governments are massively indebted.
Well, you can always buy tattoo trucker saint meat, veggie meat, or whatever it is.
I'd rather starve to death. Like,
Fabio?
Well, no, I was going to just comment on the inflation talk. It's the only thing I like to just tell everyone is that we have to, if we were going to pinpoint the cause of inflation, we have to try to be a little bit more precise that QE is not the inflationary thing at all. In isolation, if you look at fiscal policy, supply chain issues, that's all we have very inflationary. That's kind of, again, echoing Dr. Lacey Hunt, Jeff Snyder. If you kind of like learn from them how the plumbing of the financial system works, QE in isolation is not inflationary. In fact, if you go as far as what Jeff Snyder is telling you, them raising rates actually has very little causality to do with inflation or anything regards to that. Actually, he would go as far as to say that they don't even control the long end of the yield curve. They can only control the very short end. And that's actually more concerning than anything. Just whether or not inflation will kind of fix itself, we'll have to see it, because like wages are sticky, rents are a little less sticky, but still pretty sticky. Wages are the most sticky for sure. And that could be concerning. What one thing, okay, this is actually something that people are not quoting correctly. Everyone's using the unemployment rate. I saw a lot of creators talking about the unemployment rate being low. And what people are not talking about is the labor force participation rate just completely collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's been a trend for a long time.
We have a low unemployment rate. Yeah, and we don't know what to do with that. That's a big deal. We have no idea what to do. Like our elected officials have zero clue how to fix that. And whatever it is that they're doing, it's clearly not working, because since 2008, we had.
Is it just me, or are we losing Fabio?
No, we're losing Fabio.
Fabio,
come back.
He's gone. He got tired.
You look at a graph. We had a.
Fabio, if you can hear us, you're breaking up like extremely.
Yeah, I always forget to go on the right internet.
You forget to what?
Yeah, I'm on the
on the right.
I always forget to go on the right internet. I have 3 internets, and then I have to go on the internet that's for this side of the house. So now I'm on the right internet. I always forget, because this computer.
You have 3 like Wi-Fi nodes, right? You don't have 3 different internets.
No. I have 3. Well, I pay for these 3 different ones. It's a 5G version, a 2G version that's supposed to reach the entire house, and a I don't know what this other one is. I have to actually ask them what that one is. But I have to log in on the 5G one because that's the Boost
He's
Mobile.
been silenced by the government.
People talking trash, man. Oh wait, hold on, guys.
Super stick.
Trendy.
We can't actually see the super sticker, so but thank you anyway for your kind donation. So Fabio, I saw you did a video on Tesla. So
Yeah,
if you wouldn't mind breaking that down, because it was an hour long. I tried to watch
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah, me too.
I did, I did one that was kind of funny because a close friend of mine called me and said, "Wait, are you like really bullish on Tesla?" And I was like, "Oh, you didn't watch the video." Because
I guess you were being sarcastic, right? Like because it just kind of sounded like you were making insane assumptions.
Well,
Insane
I
assumptions to justify the
said
price.
that in the introduction. So the intro. Oh, Nathan's here.
Come on, Nathan. Man, your freaking
Yeah.
internet better work today, boy. Ooh! Look at that boss.
He has the same.
Nathan.
Nathan.
Nathan, you need to get off
Seems
that.
that I
Boost
have the
Mobile.
best internet, man. The Mexican internet never goes down.
Well, what if he was trolling us? He was just like standing still, pretending like it wasn't working.
What if Meet Kevin was in the background holding him hostage?
You better call out strong, man, or I'll burn your flag. Okay, Fabio, we have a request. $5. I'll give you a.
Oh yeah, you can't.
No.
You
It's all
can't
yours,
because of
bro.
the new cam, but like right off the screen, he's holding a gun to my head.
Jesus,
But-
Nate.
Yeah, for Spaceland, yeah, QE, yes, he's absolutely correct. I've gone deeper in that in videos. QE is simply just an asset swap. If you're an accountant, it's easier to understand. It's simply just exchanging an asset for a liability. Nothing's actually being created. Just these things called reserves, and reserves go on the balance sheet of the banks, and they're a liability to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve takes off the balance sheet of the bank, the asset. So it's just a swap. And nothing actually has been created. If we ever change the system, which we could in the future, and then everything I'm saying, throw it out the window, it doesn't apply. If we ever change the system to where the Federal Reserve can literally create money, then yes, you would have hyperinflation galore, like what happened to my home country in Venezuela, where we literally printed the money. United States, you guys do not print money. Every time you hear the TV say that, a creator say that, it's wrong. It's completely wrong. You don't print money, you borrow money. The EU doesn't print money, it borrows money. QE itself in isolation, cut it out from the conversation, is not the inflationary aspect. Fiscal policy, that can be inflationary, absolutely. Give people universal basic income, that's inflationary. Stuff like that, yes. And it can be short-term inflationary with long-term repercussions that are other than inflationary. Yes, we can have that conversation, but just in isolation, yeah. So Spaceland, I hope that satisfies you. And yes, my internet, if I'm using the wrong internet, it's very McDonald's tier. And I have no idea why this computer.
Yeah, I like
to
McDonald's.
use the one on the other side of the house. So
I just YOLO'd McDonald's stock, bro.
This is where Fabio lives. He lives in a McDonald's.
you don't hear the machines going off in the back.
Dude, you got to buy McDonald's stock.
Jeez. Nate, your internet's
Or at least make a video about McDonald's.
Nate, try and move somewhere.
You guys got to buy McDonald's stock so his internet can get better.
Nate, you're not allowed to make fun of anybody else's internet ever.
No. Not even
5
me,
p.m.
my
can't wait.
Mexican internet, man.
Yeah, even Alex's is better, man.
Yeah.
Did you hear the part where I included myself in that, you bastard? Motherfucker.
So if y'all just checked in, I'm actually supposedly dating Meat Kev. Not dating.
Dating. Oh my God.
Script there. No, I'm supposedly debating Meat Kevin at 5 p.m. Eastern today. I don't know if he's actually going to show. I don't know if he has like some master plan to dethrone me. He's going to prove me wrong about VT.
Dude, are you interviewing him or debating him directly? What is your strategy?
We'll probably get into some kind of debate. I don't plan my live streams. I'm a terrible YouTuber. I just dip and dress like crap and don't even plan my streams. So whatever happens, happens. You know? We'll
Yeah,
just-
like
you,
I said-
you promised him to dress up nice. I remember.
Like I said, if he shows, kudos to him because he's walking into it. He's walking into something he can't win. Because I mean, it's like, what's he gonna say to you? Your idea on being mostly an index fund investor is wrong, but you can turn around and be like, dude, you're selling courses for $900. And then the dude doesn't even stick to the advice he gives in that. It's like, first off, the course being $900, man. For some people, that's more than a week's wage. For what?
Yeah.
So you can tell them things that already exist on a Boglehead forum. Because here's the honest truth: we bring it up ad nauseum. You, as the average person, are probably not going to outperform a simple index, because even if it has nothing to do with how smart you are, and it has to do all with the amount of time you have in a week. You don't have the 40 hours of your week, actually more than that. 50 hours of your week is probably gone just from going to work. So, like, what are you going to do? Come home and read 10Ks? That sounds fun, to get in a percentage 2 or more than the market.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a perfect example of not having time to research individual stocks.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get up at 6. I don't get home till 7, and then I gotta hang out with my kid, eat dinner, blah 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 blah. I don't have freaking time. So the indexes for me is the only option. I mean, maybe I'll watch Fabio.
Don't forget the gym.
Well, I go to the gym at 6 to 7, and then I'm home. So
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, so
Can't be
I mean,
strongman without going to the gym, baby.
But I mean, so what's he gonna come at you with? Like, I mean, because it's like, that's why I did the video. Selling his portfolio was probably the smartest thing Meet Kevin has done. That portfolio was just filled with hot garbage stocks.
Oh, you can go
with the pipe stocks.
my plan is to convince him to put 95% of his portfolio in VT. That's the goal of the interview or debate or whatever. So we'll see what happens.
You can go line by line on each of his stocks. That's one thing you can start with, line by line, and have everyone like compile it for you, just like every single stock he's ever invested in. I mean, we don't have access to his private group personally, but people who are in it, so you could probably compile everything and go line by line by line.
I want to talk I always love talking Tesla with people.
Oh,
La Tesla. You know, I saw 2 Teslas today. So I actually went on a walk with my wife and my kid. And there was like 50. I maybe saw like 150, 200 cars. And I saw like 2 Teslas. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one day there's just going to be a Tesla at every freaking driveway in every middle class family's house. I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a possibility, but like, how likely is it?
I'm gonna flat out.
I would say it's very unlikely, but you know, it's like, this is the thing that people say about stocks, where they get their hopes up, and you know, it doesn't matter any specific one. But when somebody says, when you go, you're assuming ridiculous growth out for 10 years. Well, anything can happen in there. That's why you want to put conservative numbers and invest on your worst case scenario. But
Dude, Fabio did
I was told, and if this person is watching, I'm not making fun of you. I'm not. And I reached out to this person to please tell me what their assumptions were, but I was told my assumptions in that video were conservative. Well,
did
the
you have
summary
like
of that video
or something?
What?
Didn't you have like 59% growth or something like that?
No.
Yeah.
I had 39% growth in market share, global growth in the car market at about 5%. I also included that the prices, I assumed they were going to get insane margins, high prices on all their cars. That you know the affordable car that they said they're going to have. No. Dump that out. They're only going to sell luxury cars in that quantity. So that's a crazy assumption in of itself. Okay, like. Oh yeah. You know that people who buy the $20,000 car or the used cars? No. All those guys, they're going to buy Teslas. They're going to buy $50,000, $60,000 cars, and then they're going to dominate about 27% of the market eventually going forward in 10 years. That's what I assumed in that. And again, my close friend who called me, he's like, "Are you bullish on Tesla?" He didn't watch the video. So I'm telling you right now, it was an exploration. I'm trying to do a series on Tesla to explore the bullish case and try to come at the table very seriously. So I'm still modeling out, for example, the robotics division. Which is very difficult.
I mean,
I'm
think
actually
about the
Kinda
robot.
good, man.
If every family had a robot, a
Yeah.
$50,000 robot, I mean, holy crap, man.
And Elon Musk's sex robot.
Yeah.
Dude, I had to when I did it, I came to the conclusion that they had to grow at something like 52% compounded annually for the next 10 years to justify the current stock price.
It ended up being what you're saying, Jay Nagy. It ended up being when I compounded all the assumptions I made on the car, on the self-driving technology, which apparently I was told by this individual, and I wanted some clarifications on what the final cost would be, but I modeled it out, which is $12,000 US dollars. So he's saying it could cost 5x that Elon Musk said it was going to cost 5x that when it's fully out. But anyways, and I assumed that a lot of people are going to be buying that, by the way. And then I assumed Tesla insurance. I took Allstate's margins, and I was like, Tesla is so much better than Allstate. Whatever Allstate does, 50% more. And then, Progressive. I took Progressive because Progressive is better than Allstate in terms of their margins. And then I took that, and then I just applied that to Tesla, and I assumed eventually, all Tesla owners will have Tesla insurance. So then they become a bigger insurance company than Progressive, than Allstate. They become one of the largest in the world. And then I also looked at the self-charging stations. It ended up with all those assumptions. When I backtracked it and calculated the percent growth I implied in all those assumptions, it was 52%. And then I grabbed that and I plugged it into the model. It ended up working out that way. It was complete accident, and I did it live in the video, and it was just a complete accident. And then I modeled it out, and then yes, it ended up being a buy if all those assumptions come true.
Jay, you need to give me
this is the thing. This is the thing that people actually don't understand. I'm actually bullish on Tesla. I actually think it's going to be a successful company. This is the thing people aren't getting. I actually think it'll be a major player around. It's just I don't believe your ridiculous assumptions of 52% compounded growth, because to me it's like, Amazon was one of the most disruptive companies of all time. And what did they grow at? Like 35% for the past 20 years? Mm-hmm. So I just have it tough, because if you're assuming that growth, anything happens in between, supply chain crisis, whatever it is, it interferes with that growth. And it's like, look, man, and this is a thing I say to people. If you want to buy Tesla, buy Tesla. I'm just not going to buy it, man. I would rather max my tax advantaged accounts. And by the end of this year, I'll have had to put $12,000 in my house on top of that. So it's like this year, I have no money for individual stocks anyways. I'm just maxing tax advantage accounts. I'm about to drop $3,000 on a piece of my roof. So,
Jay, anyways, we have.
That's what Jay.
If we own BT, we have Tesla. It goes down or up. It affects us indirectly, but individually, I don't think none of us are gonna buy Tesla until it drops.
I mean, I've been buying Tesla for the past 10 years in my Vanguard Global Stock Market ETF. So,
well, probably
I would buy Tesla if it dropped.
Jeremy said that the VT is stupid.
No, he's stupid.
Dude, if Tesla dropped down to the 1 or 200 range, I'd actually consider buying it again.
Me too.
280.
Better.
60 to 80. Probably.
Because I bought that stock when it was like.
Go ahead, Nate.
Dude, I bought Tesla when it was $1,200 a share pre-split. And I held it all the way up, and then Jay's just like, dude, you need to sell that shit. And I was just like, yeah.
Jay screwed you, bro.
Well, I just want to hold on to it. And he's like,
well, you know what's money you could have made if Jay had screwed.
Well, no, I sold it. Well, no, I actually ended up selling it at a good price. I sold it at about the price that it crashed down to on Friday.
Bro,
I sold it at a great price.
Yeah, it was like 900, right?
Yeah, it's like something like that.
See, and this is the thing. You got this Tom Smith down here, 200 dream on. I don't care. That's the thing you don't get. I don't care if I buy Tesla. It's like it's just an if scenario. I couldn't care less if I never own that individual stock in my life. So dream on, dude. Like, no.
Yeah,
it's
Tom's.
not even
I love how
really-
he's. I love how he's saying dream on. I'm like, dude, my dream is that Tesla crashes down to $8 a share.
I'd be going balls deep in Tesla if that happened. I'll tell you that.
Dude, yeah. I would own more shares than Elon if that should happen. Bet on it. I'll take out the biggest loan from the Federal Reserve of all time.
Well, you probably
I don't give a
will,
shit.
because Elon is just probably going to sell all his shares at the high and make a freaking fortune and have nothing left.
Index
Oh, yeah,
investing-
for sure.
Donation now.
investing with Cole is calling us clowns for buying VT. Aren't you an index? funded?
Yeah.
He's trolling. So you didn't email me the invitation link. Investing index. I keep messing up his name. Index investing with Cole. We'll do a one-on-one live stream together. Okay, I promise you. But there's too many freaking clowns on this stream right now. So
Is he just trolling?
there's too many people.
Okay.
Yeah, he's trolling. You
Oh,
go watch
no
the
worries,
videos.
man. Good comment then. I was just gonna say, like, how are you gonna call yourself an index investor and then be Tesla?
I remember when the pods had 10 viewers. Yeah, I know. Look how much I've grown. Now I have 185. Oh my God. You just talk about me, Kevin, all day and your channel grows. You don't even have to value stocks, bro. Just bash people.
Dude, Screw College has proof that apparently me and Kevin bought 600 shares of Tesla.
I'm not surprised. I mean, if he shows up today, I'll talk to him about it.
Well, dude, he's also. Oh, all right, my bad, bro. I didn't know. I don't know.
So this is actually, a kind of a joke because I made a video yesterday. I have a target retirement fund in a taxable account. And what happened is Vanguard, they lowered the price for institutional.
Yeah, I saw that.
To get in. And I got a massive capital gains distribution this year. And it's going to cost me $600-700 on my taxes, which whatever. But, that's one of the risks you face when you buy a freaking mutual fund outside a tax advantage account, which is why I'm so big on them. So lesson learned, ladies and gentlemen. Lesson learned.
Yeah, dude. I watched that video yesterday. It was pretty informative. It was also the Jeremy video is very informative too. I've been talking. I didn't know that we were both completely wrong about index funds.
Yeah, I wonder where Jeremy heard of VT from.
Yeah.
Well, dude, the best thing ever was that thing that you got where he was saying this whole discounted cash flow thing confuses me. And I'm like, then where are you getting your numbers from? There's a lot of ways to figure out how to calculate the intrinsic value of a stock, but it would be one thing if you said this DCF is confusing me. I do EBITDA. I would be like, oh, all right. But it's then how are you just saying to me, this is a $250 stock? I don't know why it's trading at 300. It's like, dude, you, how are you coming up with this stuff?
He looks at sales growth and PE ratios and forward PE. He's been doing that for a very long time. So you can kind of see when he does a video. I saw this one video and it was recent because it was sent to me. It was about him talking about Kevin. On the background, you think that people don't care about their back. No, they plan out their background. So in the background, he has strongman. Strongman's
my background is trash.
There's no subliminal messages in Strongman's background, but in Jeremy's background, you see basically some sort of level of analysis that he's doing, and it's some sort of stocks on the left, and then what he's bullish on the right, and it's all every single point: revenue growth, revenue growth, revenue growth, revenue growth. When you listen to him, listen to what he says about the company. What does he highlight the most? Revenue growth, revenue growth, revenue growth, and forward PE. That's it. That's all he does. And I have my suspicion that he changed his strategy. And this is just an observation. I don't know if this is certain for sure or not, that he changed his strategy to a short interest strategy at one point, because it seems to me that every stock he bought was high short interest, and he has a huge audience. And those are very dangerous to high short interest stocks that with low market caps. So not saying that he did that, but I'm not saying that he didn't do that.
Dude, I 100% think, I 100% agree with you. I'm totally think he's just buying every single highly shorted stock and just hoping that one of them goes up, because once that happens, he can say, oh, look how smart I am. The stock I told you to buy freaking exploded. And it's because, it's heavily shorted. And if you get enough buying power, we've seen that with AMC and GameStop. Yeah, those stocks can freaking rocket up. And then you can claim victory like you're a genius investor when you're just a scumbag.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's looking for another short squeeze, which I think that what happened there with that short squeeze, I think that's like you're going to see that once, maybe every 20 years with something like that. It's like, we're taking it to the hedgies.
Yeah.
Are you really taking it to the hedgies? Because I'm pretty sure there's a dude with a PhD in mathematics sitting around crunching numbers right now, figuring out how to screw you right back.
Look, the hedgies are screwed, man. They're just sitting there on their hands crying because there's just nothing they can do against the likes of Ape Father and Lou On Demand. They're just done. They're just done, son.
Dude, Lou On Demand vaporized.
They're crying into a.
Dude, he's like
a money pillow.
Yeah, he's the ultimate lesbian fighter.
Yeah, I saw that video. I was like, I have to, because like I was doing like work or something. I had my phone on the side, just like playing random YouTube videos, and he starts talking about beating up lesbians. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I listened to it, and I was like, oh god, I have to make a freaking video about this. Comedic gold, right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, it's like,
did you mean?
Will Meatspin be calling
eating off lesbians?
Nate, try to turn your camera off. You're breaking up pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that could be having that can affect your internet sometimes.
Yeah, dude. Meet Kevin's gonna call you from the Brazilian logger camp. Deep in the Amazon jungle. Like, what are you doing? I need more money.
Is there like
Fuck
a list
you? I bought a good
places?
mic. I bought a great webcam, dude.
There we go. Then
I hear you now. It's nice.
You got to check your upload and download speed. Just go on like Chrome and then just click check speed.
Look, nobody wants to see your face anyway. Okay.
I'm a handsome young boy. Stop it.
Well, now we can hear you perfectly, which is this is preferable. I want to hear your voice. All right.
I'm a handsome young man. Fuck you.
I want to see your comedy night, bro.
Dude,
come on, you gotta
put up riffraffs. Put up riffraffs comment right now.
Is it towards the bottom?
Yeah, dude. It's
Fabio,
like the third from the bottom.
Fabio, you can you can find a tape on my YouTube channel, and you could also come to Florida anytime.
I'm in Florida. Email me when your events are.
Nathan Rapinoe. If you don't know who that is, that's the I think she's a lesbian. I wonder if Lou beat her up. I wonder if she was one of his victims,
Dude,
he's part of the U.S. women's national soccer team.
Yeah.
He comes
Wait,
up.
Is Megan Rapinoe that one cunt who plays soccer?
Yes.
She's a
Lou
star,
On Demand. You see him wearing a gold medal from the Olympics. You're like, where'd you get that? Like, Megan Rapinoe, I vaporized her.
She's the
yeah, I would not recommend anybody watch Lou On Demand except for comedy value. I mean, I don't even know if he has a job. He just walks around the park, Central Park, I guess, and just calls people lesbians, and I don't know. He's a very strange character.
What do you mean you don't know if he has a job? He's a bouncer at a lesbian bar.
Oh, this is a good comment. What do you guys think about this?
69,420.
Okay.
think that's
Yeah.
a highly logical position. I need to go open a position in Tesla right now.
Well, like Russian tanks, they're like T-80, T-34, whatever. That stands for Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's so many freaking comments. Yeah, if you guys see any that you like, tell me because I can't keep up with all this crap.
Well, there were some questions about some individual stocks. There were some questions about any advice for the Bogleheads. Michael Burry says index funds are in a bubble. That's another comment.
False.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know why I know index funds aren't a bubble? Because all I have to do is turn on YouTube and I see all these freaking clowns buying individual stocks. There's no way that index funds are in a bubble with this many people, trying to time the market and buy individual stocks. People want that excitement and that rush of trying to beat the market. So, yeah, index funds are growing in dominance, but I don't think there's ever going to be a point where it's just everybody buys index funds every 2 weeks and the market just goes up and up and up. That's not how it works.
And also, where is this coming from? Because there's a lot of money managers out there who want to crap on index funds. So you come over to their index, their low-cost index funds, come over to their mutual funds so you can pay high loads and annual fees to them because they rely on that money. Like Peter Schiff, when you went through Euro Pacific and you're like, what was it? 1.4%
on a bond fund, on a freaking bond fund with these low yields. And then he has sales loads. It's like, this guy's a freaking scam artist. I don't care how smart he is. Oh, buy gold. And then buy my trash funds. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, that was.
Kurt just asked if we like gold. I like gold.
Was there a joke with that, or you just like gold?
I mean, what do you mean?
Like gold.
Buying or wearing?
If you're going to buy a gold miner stock and you're going to buy it on fire sale, then yeah. But I mean,
I have something to confess. I have some gold, physical gold in my possession.
Oh, you have to leave, Fabio.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I have some collectibles. Like I don't have them for investing purposes, just because I like it.
I actually told my wife, I was like, hey, honey, can I buy a gold coin? I wanted to get like an ounce coin. Nice. And she was like, you got to spend $2,000 on a coin, you moron.
Well, they weren't $2,000 before. Now they're $2,000. Before they were like, just over $1,000 per one gold coin. There's some really good design. If you're talking to like a gold stacker, they're going to tell you don't buy the ones with the designs or stuff, the fancy schmancy ones. But that's if you're looking at to stack gold. If you're looking at it as a collectible item, whatever, it's like a consumption item. Like you just buy things because you like them.
Well, and the thing is with gold, they actually are taxed at a higher rate when you sell them. They're taxed at 28% for the collectibles tax rate. So if you want to buy gold, you better buy it in a freaking tax advantage account.
What are you talking about? I bought my gold yesterday. I bought my gold yesterday cash. It went down.
Well, sell it now at a loss. Then you can
I'll just sell it now at a loss.
I got all my gold from robbing people. I was like,
can you pull up Mark Simmons? Jeremy, yeah.
What miner?
I got all my gold from Chris Brown's teeth.
Oh, and for
that dude, that's gonna reward you handsomely in the metaverse.
Oh, dude! So Index and he sent me a link to a video. I think it's Jeremy talking to Andre Deek, and Andre Deek apparently has an NFT, but he can't sell it for some reason. I actually have to like watch the video and see why, but it's just hilarious to me how people like Andre who buy NFTs that he can't even freaking sell or have such a massive YouTube following.
Well, dude, he did this one video where he was talking about he bought this Spider-Man NFT and he was talking about it going up. And I'm like, you should just sit around with Patrick David Bett, sit around talking about baseball cards because that's all you've bought. And it's, well, this new NFT of Spider-Man has an intrinsic value. Yeah, to losers that want to buy something that has no intrinsic value. Like, That's what that is. It's like, why are you see why that dude is dumb is he's made a good amount of money on YouTube, but then he goes and he shows off his $1 million house that he bought. And I'm like, bro, you haven't made $1 million house money.
I mean, well, he might have.
Moderate house and put the rest in index funds and, showing everybody, hey, look, I'm making all this money, but I'm also still living, thrifty and below my means, but he's not. And that's another problem I think Jeremy has that he's going to run into is I don't think those two dudes were very good with their money.
No, well, they're not personal finance channels. Personal finance is totally different from buying and analyzing individual stocks. Personal finance involves insurance, investing, cash management. There's a lot that goes into personal finance, which I used to talk about personal finance. Now I just make fun of people. But people like Jeremy, they're just degenerate gamblers. They don't know crap about personal finance.
Yeah, because the reason I say that is because if you look at his house and you look at how much money he's basically talked about how he's got like 3 different houses. And it's like, okay, if I was talking to him, I would be reasonable and I would say, bro, but here's the problem with what you're doing. What happens if YouTube goes away? You can't afford that lifestyle, man. You're dependent on this one thing, which is YouTube and selling your grift courses. If that goes away, you're done, dude. You're back working at the gas station. Instead, if you had your money in good, high quality stocks, if you must buy individual stocks or index funds, and you bought a modest house, because I mean, he makes enough money to buy a nice, modest, he would be fine with a $250,000, $300,000 house. Could have done that and then saved all his money, but he didn't. And I think when the market goes sideways for a long time and it's not just buy tattooed chef to the moon, I think he's going to have trouble retaining his audience. Because those people are
personal finance like the first thing you need to have before investing. I believe if you don't have same personal finances, then
you need to understand personal finance, like I said, is a lot more than just buying individual. If you don't have life insurance, if you don't have emergency savings, why are you screwing around with individual stocks? It's like, come on. You need to get all that in order before you even think about it. The only time you should buy individual stocks, in my opinion, and people can disagree, is after you've maxed your tax advantage accounts, just like Jay says all the time. But if you're not at that point, then what are you doing? Just stop.
That's my personal rule now. Well, it's you pretty much, Ben. But now that I have the TSP, pretty much my individual rule has been, any individual stocks that I buy, it's got to be after I've maxed everything else, or else I just don't see the point in doing it. Because it's like, it'd be one thing if the TSP let me buy individual stocks. I might consider adding a 5% position of individual stocks in my portfolio, but it doesn't. It's all index funds. And this is the vast majority of America. Oh, yeah, I'll shut up. But this is the vast majority of Americans, man. Your 401k mostly, for a lot of people, just contains index funds. So it's like, dude, unless you've put the $19,500 in there, like, what do you do? Why are you buying individual stocks?
Well, I think there's changes coming to the TSP. I mean, before I quit the government, to become a private sector loser, I saw they were changing like the options you could invest in the thrift savings plan. This is for federal employees and military in the U.S. But apparently now you're going to soon have access to like all different kinds of mutual funds. And I wonder if they're going to allow people to buy individual stocks as well. So
these people are going to get destroyed.
Chris.
You have no idea how many of these people have come up to me at work going, hey, what do you think of this marijuana stock that I bought? And I don't even look at their numbers. I just go, sell it. And they go, what do you mean? I go, why'd you buy that stock? They go, because Joe Biden's going to make weed legal. I go, no, Joe Biden's a corporate Democrat. He's not going to make weed legal.
I didn't know Joe Biden created laws. That's interesting.
Yeah. I go and I look, diluting the shareholder negative cash flows, and I have to explain that to people. And then I go, how long have you been buying individual stocks? And they go, this is the first stock I bought. Okay, put all your money in index funds and move on.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, but
Robinhood.
do they listen to you, or they just say, okay, whatever, man, and move on?
They do once I break it down, because this is another thing for the Tesla fanboys. Ask yourself this. Why are average people that have no idea? Why is the number one stock I'm told to buy by people who have never looked at an individual stock in their life, Tesla?
Because it went up, bro.
Yeah.
And this is to say
I-
that you don't.
Once a week, I get somebody going, you're into the stock market. You should buy Tesla. Okay, based on what? My friend told me.
It went up, you dummy. I mean, come on, bro.
What were you
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
Fabio?
yeah.
I'm sorry, I
Well,
cut you
Chris,
off.
I have a-
No, you're fine.
Too. My bad.
I have an
Nate, go.
actual question for you, Chris.
I'm ready.
Okay, so my question is like, how do you allocate your investments into your TSP? Because I'm going to start my TSP very soon, and I need to know so that I can know what funds, because I know there's different funds that you can invest in. I just want to know.
Yeah, so you basically have two options. You can allocate yourself with individual funds. There's the C fund, which is the S&P 500. There's the S fund, which is the remainder of the U.S. stock market. That's like small and mid caps. There's the I fund, which is international stocks, not including emerging markets. And then you have like a bond fund, the F fund, and then you have the G fund, which is like another bond fund. But what a lot of people do is if they buy individual funds in the TSP, they freaking, overweight stocks or indexes that have outperformed. So a lot of people are probably heavily concentrated in the C fund. I think you should buy a far out life cycle fund like the L2065 fund, because how they structure it is it's market cap weighted just like freaking VT. So you buy the L2065 fund, which I have 100% L2065. You buy that, you hold the world or as much as you can at market cap weights, and it prevents you from trying to time the market. So that's what I recommend you do. And the only issue with life cycle funds is they do transition very quickly over to like the G fund, which is like low interest rates, but you can just keep switching it. So if you want to stay more heavily concentrated in stocks, let's say 20 years from now, you can buy the L2085 fund, so you still stay 100% stocks at market cap weight. That's what I recommend you do. And that's what I do, but you can do whatever you want, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Not financial advice. Don't sue me, bro.
I was briefed, and he said that he does 50% S&P and 50% international, which is essentially that's almost VT, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, because like VT is basically 60% US and 40% international. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
But if that's the case, you might as well just buy the freaking L fund and not worry about it.
Nate, there's also a problem with the I fund in that it can't
Makes
go
sense.
into certain markets that other funds can go into. Because it's a government fund, it can't go into China. So how much you want to use it, if you don't feel like switching between the targeted date funds, you can just do 80 in the C fund, 20 in the S fund, and you approximated the entire US market. But either way, man, you're probably going to get a good return, even if you go with a targeted date fund. I know a lot of people, they went with a targeted date fund, and I'm like, yeah, this is probably good for them.
Yeah, I mean, I missed out on, like, if I was 100% C, I would have crushed it even more than I already have. But, I mean, I don't think the U.S. stock market's going to keep dominating like it has been. So I'm very glad that I have, like, an allocation to international. So I would consider life cycle. But if they change the TSP like they've been saying, if they offer VT wax, which is the VT in mutual fund form, put it in that, dude.
That's what I'm doing. If they start offering that, I'm going probably just 100% in VT. I might do 80% VT and 20% S fund just for a little bit more juice, but the vast majority would just be VT.
Yeah, don't buy individual stocks if they offer that.
I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that. If I'm going to do individual stocks, it'll probably just be like on M1 Finance. I wouldn't do that in my TSP because the TSP is where, what is it, like 20,500 to max every year?
Yeah, plus your match, you'll get a match from the government, 5%.
And so
I don't know if I'll be able to max it initially, but I will give it my best shot.
You will.
I'll do at least 10%.
I know how much you're going to be making, Nate. You got that BAH, got that BAS, got that officer pay. Woo! You can do it. I believe in you.
I'll go
You're
on.
going to
All right.
crush it, dude.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to
I'll
go on a
do it.
lightning round. It'll be very quick.
Flight
So-
pay
so-
too. Flight pay too.
To answer Jay Nagy, or to add on Jay Nagy, he's not saying, obviously, to be clear, everyone watching, he's not saying that he thinks Tesla, the company, is like doing terribly or anything like that. He's separating the stock from the company. And then also want to go on to like some things I saw. So Tom Nash said something about industry standards with sales, price to sales ratios, stuff like that. Yes, that's true. And that not PE, that it's actually very true. A lot of different funds actually will just look at price to sales and stuff like that. However, it's like kind of like a multi-layered cake. That's kind of what I talk about investing. It's not simply just one ratio or another. And the comment on the P, I think it's referring to that comment. The comment on Jeremy looking at forward PEs is that's a huge reliance. It's just two things. And then investing is a multi-layered cake with many, many different aspects that we want to look at individual companies, and they differ depending on company to company. Another one, the comment that you had up there, that was the guy who paid for the answer. That depends on the person. You got to understand what both do. The one of them, it was the one about accumulated. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Accumulated.
going to pull it back up. I'm not going to ignore
Okay.
you. If you give a super chat.
It depends on you, what you want, depending on what stage you are in life. Because for the audience who doesn't know, or if anyone else here wants to tackle that, and then I'll come back and answer this other question. Does anyone want to tackle this?
Yeah, I mean, so I actually had to look it up. I didn't know there was a freaking funds that did this, but basically, accumulative sounds like they just reinvest the dividends and the interest, and the distributive they pay it out. Well, if you're young, you want a lot of your returns come from reinvesting, so you want to freaking do that.
Yes.
And when you're older, if you have a distributive ETF, you don't control the cash flows. Whereas if you keep an accumulative ETF, you have a little bit more control of when you sell out of it. So instead of waiting for your quarterly dividend payment, you just sell maybe once a year, get your year of pay, and you live off that.
And the other one, HN just commented again, because I saw your question, HN, don't worry. I just want to let everyone talk. HN, the inflation thing, you have to separate what it is I'm saying. And that's actually the difficulty of having that kind of conversation is everyone kind of jumps everything into one thing. Okay, so we've had inflation for the past 12 years, but remember what I'm saying. I'm saying in isolation, you have to literally grab the concept of QE and cut it, sever it from the rest of the conversation. There's so many other factors in this very complex economy. Macroeconomics is very complicated. There are so many different factors, and not a single one of us will fully ever understand it or be able to predict what will happen next. This is why, right? So inflation doesn't necessarily have to happen simply because QE. We didn't actually print money. If you thought of it that way, ask yourself this: why hasn't there been inflation in proportion to the amount of money created? Well, simply because it wasn't. You have to consider, for example, how quickly money is moving around, the velocity of money. Money is actually created in the commercial banking system. Money has been created, but not to the same level of degree as what those statistics would implicate. All right. Again, the United States does a system where it borrows money, and then QE is an experimental process started when I was a child. Okay, and Japan was the first one to really go really heavy into that. So I want to kind of summarize my answer to say it in English. Inflation can still occur with QE. That doesn't mean QE or we should see deflation. That's not what that means. What it means is we have to be careful as to what we put the blame to, because if we don't, going forward, we can make bigger and bigger mistakes. If QE is inflationary, as we presume, or we think it's money printing, we should have seen a high degree of inflation, way higher than what we've seen in the past. It's something else is my answer to you. It is not that. Okay. And that's pretty much.
Fabio, do you have like 20 master's degrees?
No. No, I don't even have a single master's.
He actually has 22.
I gotta point this out. There was Paul Harsh. You're fine with where you have your stuff distributed right now. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, look, if you change everything up in there the way your TSP is set up, it's probably not even going to change your returns over time by a percentage point. So, I mean, this is the thing I think a lot of people do is I think they get analysis paralysis, where they're like, if I put this in here and I juice this, I'm going to get an extra 2% in my portfolio. At a certain point, man, he has 40% in the L 2050, 30 in the S, and 30 in the C fund. I don't think you need to change anything if you want to.
Trash.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion on it. And Tom Nash did point out, you guys want some Russian perspective on what's going on in the Ukraine? Yeah, I do. I tend to think a lot of this is Western propaganda, to be honest with you.
My dad told me to never trust a Russian. He remembers back when the commies.
But,
I'll ask you at our interview, man.
My personal viewpoint on it is if Russia was putting troops in Mexico, we probably wouldn't like that ourselves. So
we're not letting the Russians put troops here, man. Don't worry.
Huh?
We're not letting them.
Those crazy Mexican Russians coming across our border.
You know, the Mexicans almost allied with the Germans in was it World War One? Remember that?
Two.
The Zimmerman telegram or something like that?
It says it's a telegram, but we didn't answer.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
No, I'm just screwing with you.
Yourself.
Let's address this.
To give address him and
all right, Gab. Any thoughts on high yielding stable coins? You know what I think about cryptocurrency, all right? Are they paying you interest in more stable coins? You're still getting paid in a clown currency. And then KPMG buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't care if big institutions buy that crap. At the end of the day, just because you're a big institution, it doesn't mean you're smart or you know what you're doing. Or they could just be buying it as a trade. I mean, it doesn't mean that you should be bullish on these assets because a big institution bought it.
The only thing I would say is if you're doing the whole coin thing, as long as it's less than 5% of your portfolio, if you really understand, and that's what that is there for, it's for play money to keep you involved. If you really understand the market, then go do it. There's guys that do make a lot of money on baseball cards, but understand at the end of the day, coins have no intrinsic value. Just like baseball cards don't, but you can make money on it, or art. So just don't have 50% of your portfolio in Bitcoin and then 25 in Ethereum. And when you're down at the truck stop, ask why this happened.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who's doing this, but somebody made a Jessica LaFufu profile, which is kind of a female version of Jeremy. It's probably the same person, but this is freaking hilarious. Where am I? This isn't my son's channel. I think I crapped my honest out.
Dude, yeah. Whoever did that's brilliant.
Dude, if you actually have a comedy channel, whoever made this, I will shout you out. This is freaking hilarious. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but it is.
No, that's funny, dude. That's last night I came up with a joke about Brian Stelter, and I don't even know if it's funny, but I was just cracking myself up with that thought. It's that Brian Stelter looks like the living embodiment of halitosis. Nothing. All right.
Wait,
dude, Jeremy's
funny to me.
I got it.
Dude.
What happened?
Yeah.
Jeremy's dad might be Elemental Tamago.
It's like
I have a huge conspiracy theory about who this person is.
The other thing about KPMG buying, if you saw what they were saying, they said that they bought to understand their customers better. That's actually was their official statement, not as an investment.
Yeah, that's why they did it, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Yep, that was definitely a swing and a miss. It was way funnier.
All right, Fabio, you need to address this. This is serious.
I don't know what to say. I was just resting here, and then I saw it. I was like, "Oh, okay, damn, okay. I'll just."
Everybody blixes here, man.
Someone's hot for your buys, man.
Dude,
he's been fight you off.
Dude, he's been reading his Thomas Sowell books while curling.
I like Thomas Sowell. I actually do read his books.
Dude, I bought his basic economics book. I haven't got to it yet.
I'm gonna be very sad when he passes.
Dude, I was showing somebody a video of him during an interview, and I go, "This dude's 91 years old," and they were like, what? How can he be 91 and be that sharp? I go, yeah,
yeah. No, he's
he's still laser sharp, man. When you listen to interviews with him, and then go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna be upset when him and Dr. Lazy Hunt pass. They're iconic to me. I wish I was in the time of Milton Friedman. Would have been nice. Because I wonder what his perspective would be on what's going on today. That's what I would really like to know. But
probably that it's madness.
It is, yeah.
I mean,
the biggest Tesla shell watch.
Doug Stanhope has pretty much one of the most definitive bits on economics of all time with Milton Friedman, and you just got to listen to the bit. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh.
Strawman has the roundest head.
Isn't every head rounded?
Wow.
Or am I just? Yeah. Isn't every?
I actually wear like
I don't know if I have a square head. Do I have a square head?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty round.
You're giving me a compliment.
Damn, dude. Jay Nagi's got a really nice cranium.
Staring at the glitter on my head. I'm like,
I have a question for you. I don't know if it's too much, but have you seen the Family Guy episode with the bald guys? Where they're in the elevator?
No, but I can look it up.
Okay, yeah. I don't feel like I should say it live here, but for those who've seen that up, okay, this guy's in the elevator and he's not bald, and then he leaves, and the two bald guys, they look at each other. It's like he's finally gone, and they start licking each other's craniums. So is that true?
It's disturbing.
It's super disturbing. It's like a supposedly like bald guys have a connection. My uncle's bald. Okay, don't worry.
It happens, man. I started losing my hair in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care.
That's it.
No, some people rock the bald look. Some people rock the bald look. I don't rock the bald.
My hairline started falling out when my son started feeding me TTC. This dude is on fire, and Jeremy's
bad.
I think this is the same person that made the Jessica LaFufu profile. It's freaking hilarious. And there's actually somebody that's imitating me, Kevin, and Jeremy. Because like I got a comment on my channel. I was like, oh my God, Jeremy finally commented on my channel. And I look, and it has like 2 subscribers. I was like, okay. Somebody trolled me real well because like, you can't even tell the difference. It looks exactly like his profile.
Yeah,
it's got to be Elemental Tamago, man. I swear.
Well, yeah, he's not here. He's not checking in with us today. Well, he got very mad.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
From Elemental.
He got very mad at me because,
dude, Jay,
I don't worship Peter.
Yo,
Jay, somebody put a Brian Stelter joke in the comments.
No, I know. I saw that. It was a great joke.
CNN's going through all those scandals right now. I think 2 of them got arrested for it.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, two individual producers for different events, different individual circumstances. Not child porn. They were. We can't say the words here. This is YouTube, gentlemen.
Yeah, this video just got demonetized.
Stop.
Yeah,
look it up on your own time.
No, Fabio, I know what
Pringles.
you're talking about. I know what you jogged my memory. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's
not allowed to be a Pringle.
Dude, I just want to give one advice for the Mexican people at their retirement plans. Just max out your Social Security account, and then in your brokerage account, just buy BT and buy SETs. Because we don't have Roth IRAs here. We just have kind of like an IRA.
But is it a pension or is it an IRA?
It's kind of like a mix of a pension IRA account.
Like, can you control your money in retirement?
No.
Or is it just...
No. Oh, yeah. Hey. You don't control what we buy. You don't control what they get. It's supposed to be when you're young, they get more individual stocks, and then as you get older, they get more ETFs and bonds.
But do
So
they
that's
pay you a check every month when you retire, or are you able to
yeah,
control?
yeah. But it is very, very low because we just contribute 6% of our total income. So what you need to do is try to, well, you cannot max it out. You can do voluntary. You can put money if you want, and then and that's tax free. So what I tell people to do is try to give as much as you can, and then your pension will go up, and then you can add individual, well, not individual stocks. You can add a brokerage account, get ETFs and bonds, which are CETES and or UDI bonus, which are like T bonds. So that's how we do it here in Mexico. It's a bit different.
That's really interesting because it's almost like a
Mhm.
superior social security because they actually take your money, which I still don't like that in my opinion because I like to control the
Mhm.
money and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
here
me
in
too.
America, they take your money and they just they just transfer it to old people, and then whatever excess money they have, they put it in treasuries, which don't make crap. Whereas it sounds like in Mexico, they're at least investing your freaking money and
Yeah,
actually.
I invested, but all people get their pension checks, just like in the U.S. But most of them don't, since they didn't make they didn't give you any money when they were young and to their pension funds. Then they retire and they don't have enough money to survive. Like if you are actually making 30,000 pesos, you get around 6,000 pesos per month, which is nothing. So you need to
So like
have an additional
20%
plan.
basically.
Yeah, it's very, very, it's not enough. So
Yeah.
what I tell people is to do their homework and contribute to their social security account, have a brokerage account, get ETFs such as BT, and also have CETES and UDI bonus, which are T bonds protected from inflation. That's the best thing I can tell. Well, that's my suggestion to
You don't have any hot
investors.
stocks, bro? Come on.
Yeah, I have some. Well, yeah, I have individual stocks, but my portfolio is mainly 80% BT and 20%, probably 10% BAVA and FIBRAs, which are like REITs. They are tax free here in Mexico, so that's a very wise investment also. So I got 10 and 10.
Nice. See, if you're in Mexico, you
Yeah.
better listen to this man, okay?
Beats,
If you listen to
man.
me, you're gonna be selling your butt because I don't know anything about it.
You guys are the experts in America.
Yeah, I am the expert.
Yeah.
I know everything. Hey, strong man,
And
why don't you quit your
Erica,
job
you
and cover New Kevin's market open and close? I will never quit my job unless I am financially independent because you have to have diversified income streams, okay? You can't go all in on freaking YouTube. So, like in my opinion, like my personal life, I edit accounting textbooks. I can go back to tutoring if I want. I have a YouTube channel. I have a full-time job. I'm in the military. I get a little bit of VA disability. I've diversified my income stream. So if any one thing doesn't work out, I have other options. Whereas if you go all in on YouTube, like Jay was saying with Jeremy and these clowns, you might be in trouble if you lose that source of income. So that's another personal finance.
Well, what I was saying is, I mean, if they had lived below their means, they wouldn't be, because both of them have made enough money that they could be sitting back, where they could be sitting back and not be dependent on working. That's what I don't understand. But like, at least Meet Kevin could piss off tomorrow and never have to do a thing again, and he would be fine as long as he stopped doing stupid garbage stocks. I don't think that's the case with Lafufu or Deke there. I think that if YouTube
Who is
wakes up,
Zeke, man?
and it can, man. I mean, if you just go on there and you say something you think is funny, but then the cancel mob comes for you, your channel gets shut down. There you go, man. Like I said, you're down at the fucking Tijuana Donkey Show.
Yeah, I'll never quit everything. I'll never quit everything and just do YouTube by myself. Like, I think that's insane. You got to have backups and you got to keep them alive.
Yeah, and so I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, how long are people going to stick with the hype YouTubers as the stimmy check momentum runs out and people figure out, oh, the stock market can just do nothing for 10 years where you're just collecting dividends? Like, are they going to sit there and keep going back to these guys? And, I don't know what the answer is there. There's a fool born every minute, but.
Well, they can just churn people in and out. Like, people come in, they get dissatisfied, they leave, but they've already got their money. And then more people come in, they, listen to them for a year or two, they get dissatisfied and they go away. I mean, they can keep the grift going for a very, very long time. The only thing that's really going to stop these people is some kind of government action, where they really start cracking down on YouTube finance, because it's kind of like the wild, wild west.
It is, but I don't know what you do with that. I don't know how you really crack down on that, because it's like, my opinion is Peloton's going to Uranus, but I was wrong. So, I mean, I don't know really how you would crack down on that other than Kevin front running on stocks, which I do think you could get in a lot of trouble for that. But if he wants to keep doing it, that's fine. Eventually, the SEC will clap his cheeks.
Yeah, those big channels are playing with fire, pumping those individual stocks. Nate,
if you're going to do that, at least hop in and say Neuralink.
Chris insane.
This is the same guy.
I did not know about this guy until I saw your video. I had no idea this guy even existed.
Dude, you think Jeremy or Kevin is dumb? Holy freaking crap.
Oh
my God. I do not understand how this guy has
No, I saw that, for example. When did he buy
Chris,
those puts on Alibaba?
He what?
When did he buy those puts on Alibaba?
Like a couple of days ago. It's just gambling stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But Louis is worse, man. Louis is the most retarded guy out there.
Lou?
Yeah.
Lou on demand?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he's a very, he always likes to threaten people with lawsuits. It's like,
Yeah.
You know what? In the good light of all this, if all these people giving out these opinions will, I hope it when it if not, I hope I don't hope anyone gets burned by it, but I hope that when this will be like a good early lesson on people's early investing careers. I know that there are some people, like you covered that old lady, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that sucks. But for a lot of younger people who are getting into YouTube finance, this is what I said is like the double-edged sword. Like there's a really bad side, but then the good side is it got so many people, I think, into thinking about what are they going to do for themselves, and then just going to filter through. Like a lot of people are going to realize individual stock picking is just not for me. And then they're going to do what's probably more responsible, which is broadly investing in index funds and then doing a portion of that into some individual stocks if they feel like, if they think that's fun. But I think like the good side of all this still is it got so many people to just, not just put it into a savings account and go like, what can I do with this on my own? Not give it to a random financial advisor who's going to clap their cheeks with stuff like that. Because,
my financial advisor had his pants off when I went in there. It was so weird.
Yeah. It's kind of like the, oh my God. It's kind of, oh my God. Gotta get that one.
Hey, so Matt, actually, that's a post there.
It's kind of like that Rich Dad Poor Dad, who the guy, for all intents and purposes, probably only made money from that book, right? From my understanding.
By the way, I'm making a video about him today because
okay, coincidence.
He's turned into a gold dude now, hasn't he?
He's a crypto shill too.
Oh my gosh. But what I'm trying to say is like separating the pure bad that I think is going on now. His book, it kind of gives someone the very fundamental ideas, even though it's so simple. It's like that stuff should just be a quick video. Get assets, don't get liabilities. Some people need to like read it and hear like a story like that, and then they get like just the concept of it down. I'm not saying that he's a great person, all successful. It's just even in that aspect, you can look at it kind of that way. It can somewhat inspire people. Now, if you take that to the side and then say, okay, what he's doing now is he's promoting, using his fame to like promote cryptocurrencies, whatever it is that he's promoting to, increase his wealth, because I think he's worth almost 100 million, 80 million, something like that.
Oh, I'm sure he's
So
very wealthy.
yeah,
Fabio, if you're gonna recommend a book, I believe Chris's book is way better than
yes,
the Rich and
yes,
Poor. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So that would be a perfect example of a book that is written by someone who is far more genuine, right, and still provides that same base. By the way, I'm going to purchase a book today.
I want you to purchase it right now, Fabio.
All right.
So
Dude, I read it in 3 days. I couldn't put it down. It was I'm not.
Here we go.
Dude, I think it was something like I read his
it was-
book in that amount of time too, because it's an easy read. That's one of the
Yeah.
why Chris's book is good is because it's also like the little book that beats the market. When I explain to people about that book, I'm like, you can read this book in 3 hours and it arms you with everything that you ultimately need to know. It's the same thing with Chris's book. You'll sit there and you'll read it. It'll take you 3 or 4 days. You're done from just the standpoint of a couple hours a day or an hour a day. When you look at like a lot of like finance books, they get really difficult to read. Where you're sitting there like,
Yeah, I'm
like
going
that.
to translate it, Chris. I'm going to translate some chapters, the ones that we can apply everywhere, and send it to you, so you can probably, if you want to publish them or whatever.
But then I would have to sue you, Alex.
This is
No, because you are gonna publish them, not me. I'm just gonna do the work because you're.
Yeah, no, Alex.
I'm doing it
How I
for
first got introduced to Alex was he emailed me about translating the book. I was like, all right, cool, but I don't want to pay $1,000 or whatever right now. So
Nah, I wouldn't charge you that. It's a pleasure for me because I have to read it and then I'll translate it with no charge.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll definitely get around to publishing it in Spanish. It's just, I'm not making enough profits on that book.
You cannot publish everything, but probably the car chapter, the house or the home chapter, the first one on personal finance, all of that you can apply it everywhere. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff doesn't apply to Mexico, but there are definitely personal finance.
No, most of it applies. Most of the book, just probably 2 or 3 chapters don't, but most of it applies everywhere. I guess.
Robert Kiyosaki molests collies.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
Hey guys, I think Tom is a S&P 500 fan. He said that.
Tom, are you shilling the S&P 500? What's wrong with you?
I got a lot of questions to ask him in our interview, so I'll get to that.
I asked a designer to make me an old smelly couch with cigarette holes and whiskey stains. Do you mean to tell me you have a casting couch, Tom Nash?
It's over there in Russia.
I like the last one, Tom.
Tom Nash is the Russian Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, God.
Is he Russian or Ukrainian?
I hope he's not Ukrainian. He's about to get his cheeks clapped if he is. Now, yeah, I just can't believe that Russia's actually going to, take that drastic step and invade the Ukraine.
No,
that just seems like a huge escalation. But
Well,
I don't really know the situation that well, so I can't speak.
Did you guys see that that report from the White House where that talking head was up there and he's going, "We have information Russia is about to invade the Ukraine," and that AP reporter goes, "Yeah, but where is it?" And he goes, "I just told you." And he goes, "They're going to invade." And he goes, "Yeah, but weapons of mass destruction in Iraq." And the dude is just exacerbated, sitting there like, I have no idea what to say, because it's true. It's like, how much of from the legacy media are Americans really going to believe at this point? Like, you've been lying to us for the past 50 years about everything. Why should I believe you now about Russia? And also, why is this our problem?
Oh, he's actually from Crimea.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So
I believe that part is Russian. They have a lot of Russian population or something. That's why they're biased towards.
Well, didn't Russia
claim,
annex Crimea? I mean, didn't that happen a couple of years ago?
Yeah, but before that, they were part of. Yeah, they have mainly Russian population, so that's why it was easy for them.
Actually, so I had to go to Latvia. Quick side story for military. We had like a military exercise. So I was there, and it was me, a guy, about 40, and then we had this, girl on our team who was maybe like 25. And we go to this bar to like hang out because we were like there, in our civilian clothes on military duty. And these freaking drunk Russians were there. And they start talking, just like, and they kept like talking to the girl who could speak Russian. And she was making these weird faces, and we had no idea what they were saying. And then we left, and it comes to find out they were telling her like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna screw you and have sex with you," and they're just saying like a bunch of nasty freaking stuff to this random girl. I was like, dude, if we had known those freaking Russians were saying that, we would have smacked the hell out of them. So that was my one story interaction with freaking Russians in Latvia. Scumbags. It's probably Tom Nash. Were you there, Tom Nash? Remember that? You remember meeting me in Latvia?
Tom Nash was whatever it was him. He's sitting there like, that was me, dude.
He's like, oh crap. He remembers that.
Suka bliat.
Remember, no Russian.
Oh my god.
Suka bliat.
Latvia is like a disappointment with that.
Disappointment.
Yeah, Latvia is pretty freaking lame. I wouldn't recommend anybody go there. It's like one.
I was going there next week. What are you talking about? Should I cancel?
You're not going to Latvia, are you? There's one big city that has like nothing in it, Riga, and then it's just a bunch of plains and like a couple little towns. Like, oh wow, this is cool.
Eventually, I'll travel to Eastern Europe.
So, Katie Lopez asked, so how are we going to approach Meet Kevin? We need a game plan. What's your game plan, dude?
I'm going to whip out my nuts and swing them back and forth until he leaves.
You got a kettlebell tied to it, and you're just going back and forth.
Oh, stop.
Questions.
No, like I honestly, I don't plan anything on YouTube. I actually work better when I improvise. So it's like, okay, whatever, I'll show up and we'll see what happens. Yeah, just the way it is. As you can tell, my YouTube is not very methodical. Like I have a freaking unassembled crib and a crappy lava lamp behind me. I just don't care. It's like whatever happens, happens.
No. That's subliminal messaging. You're selling that on Amazon. That lava lamp.
My lamp.
What happened to the big teddy bear holding the rifle?
Oh, you want to see the teddy bear? Hold on a second.
No,
No, you need to see the teddy bear.
Oh. It's at 5 p.m. bracket. Just so you know. 5 p.m.
That thing is heavy as hell. I actually stole that from my wife's cousin. But yes, I have a massive.
Just ask Kevin why he's always contradicting himself. He's like all mouth and no trousers.
Tom, you want to come on, Tom?
That's all I mean.
We can let Tom on. He can talk about Russia because I don't know jack about what's going on. I'm actually a terrible financial analyst because I don't read the news. I just max my tax advantage. Yeah. I'll stop fucking index funds. I'll message you, Thomas.
Oh, I'm out of coffee. That's upsetting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a piss once I message him, so you guys can keep up the conversation.
Were there? I wasn't seeing any questions. I already bought the book, by the way. It's going to arrive on Monday, Valentine's Day. Your Valentine's Day gift to me,
Chris. You can just quit your job now.
Yeah, I make $5 per book now. It's freaking gold mine, man. I might even make $100 in book sales this month. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right. Depending on what country, you could live a long, good life.
I'll talk to you boys later.
North Korea.
Bye, Nate. All right, I'm gonna go take.
I also gotta go, man.
And then I'm gonna go prepare for my debate for meat breath.
I also gotta go, guys, but I'll wait for Tom to get in and say hi.
Why? Where do you gotta go, Alex?
I gotta go to San Miguel de Allende. It's a little town near where I live.
Did you ever get registered with the VA, dude?
No, but I'm going to. I'm going to El Paso next month. I'll do that. I'll give you a
Yeah,
shout
dude,
out.
you need to.
Yeah.
Because I mean, dude, you served, and I mean, I don't know what healthcare is like in Mexico, but if you have to pay it, man, if you served in the U.S. military, you should be able to get your healthcare for free at the VA.
I'll do it more for the education part because I got the GI Bill I haven't used. I actually paid for my master's degree and my law degree here in Mexico. That's mainly what I want it for because since I'm in a company here, when you are enrolled, you're paid by a company, you get Social Security and it's free. So that's I get everything for free except for few things. But yeah, I think it's my right and I gotta do it. So I'll let you know if I have any questions because it's
Yeah,
important to
dude,
have.
just, I mean, if you have questions, because I've been in the system now for 12 years, and they do not do a good job when you get out of the military explaining to you how to. That, I don't think they want you to go to the VA because
No.
you're out processing. Uh, yeah, so you're entitled to all this stuff. Hey,
Mhm.
how do I use these entitlements? Go screw yourself. That's how.
Yeah, basically. It was
Yeah,
this guy trying to explain everything to me, but it was so fast that yeah, I was like, okay, thank you. I'll check it out once I get out of here. And then
yeah, dude, and that's
forgot.
what they do because like when you're going through, when you're getting out, it's nerve wracking because it's a huge change of life. Like you're going from however
Yeah.
long you did. What did you do? 6 years?
No, four.
Four. Okay, so you did 4 years of your life. You were told where to go, what to do, and you're getting out. So you're thinking about is okay, how am I going to make ends meet? What do I have to do? And then they come at you. Hey, and don't forget your final out processing physical. And then they don't tell you to make note of everything. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. If you miss something, the VA will take care of you.
Yeah.
Writer
Have a
back, they
nice
said,
life,
you do
man.
not have sufficient proof to prove that you are injured in this capacity on active duty. And you're like, yeah, it says so in my military file. They go, no, that never happened.
Yeah, so I probably have a lot of questions, so I will text you.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, after I make my appointment and let you know if I need to ask something in a specific or you know anything I need. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Dude, we need to talk about this. Whether the guy that you had on your channel worried about Meat Breath or Lafufu coming after him because he's a member of their groups, dude, it wouldn't surprise me. I didn't even think of that, but it didn't surprise me at all.
I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, they're probably going to, if they're going to come after anybody, they're going to come after somebody like me that's been freaking trashing them, you know?
Oh, yeah. I wish he would come after me. I don't care. Like, what are you going to do?
Take your whiteboard.
Yeah.
Your back stretching device over there in the back. Or is that a treadmill? What is that?
Oh, no. That's one of those things where you hang upside down the inversion tables because my back is messed up.
Oh, you use it for your back, don't you? It's not for sexual pleasure.
That would be really awkward. What's somebody going to do? Flip it around on me so that I'm like upside down and then give me a handy that way?
You ever get worried about getting trapped on one of those? It's like, oh, I can't move.
No, dude. When you get in those, there's little handles on the side. You can just pull yourself right back up.
Yeah.
And it's actually weighted, so even if they weren't there, you could just push your feet down and come back up. I mean, you wouldn't get trapped in that thing behind you because you could also probably slip your ankles out too. So, but yeah, it would be really weird if I died that way.
Well, Jay Nagy hasn't posted in like a week. What's going on? And you're just like a rotting corpse in your backstretch machine.
Yeah. Dude, the cops got to come in and they're like, how did he die? Autoerotic asphyxiation.
I'll just say this. When I was 18, this was back when I still wanted to be a doctor. I was a paramedic. I became a paramedic. So I went EMT paramedic route, and I saw some stuff that was like, some weird things, man. Some weird things. People do weird things. This guy, I'll just say this, had something stuck in a certain place, and he didn't want to tell us how he got that thing stuck. It was a toy, but like not a toy designed for that. And I won't say where it got stuck. Use your imagination. Yeah, some
hand?
crazy stuff. What?
Was it stuck in his hand?
Yes, it was stuck in his hand.
Fabio, you don't have to explain this to me, dude. I work in a hospital, and
Are you doing? Oh God. You know.
I'm done.
yeah, how many times I've been talking to the nurses, and they go, "Bro, you'd not believe some of the objects we find in certain around this place."
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, we have a special guest popping on. He's even in his studio now. He's not in his Tesla driving around.
I don't have it. I don't own a Tesla, bro.
He's just driving around in his studio in a Tesla.
It's the
You know,
Tesla
some
killer.
guy followed me on Twitter, and his username is Tom's Lada Niva. It's so I wanted to hop on for just 5 minutes. I know you guys have a lot to talk about, so I have I have some thoughts about Russia because I think everybody gets wrong this whole thing. So if you listen to U.S. or European media, they mainly talk about rational stuff because he is a rational guy. I mean, Putin, not a nice guy. Probably like mass murder would be a good description. But I mean, he's a logical guy. He's a rational guy. He's not an impulsive dude usually, so far. So they talk about, okay, why would he do this? And they talk about, well, energy. You know, he might want to apply more leverage. He wants to fuck with the energy prices. Blah 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 blah. That's not it. Then they talk about, well, he has internal problems. His approval ratings are not as good as they used to be. Also not it because he doesn't give a shit. He holds all means of publication. He owns all the newspapers, all the TV stations. He can make people literally go away. So he's honestly not that concerned about approval ratings being such that he would go to war for that, unlike other countries.
Yeah, it just seems insane that he would actually potentially spark a war with the United States.
No, but I'll tell you what it is. It's the primal sin. I'll explain. It's very hard for Westerners to understand like how the mindset of an old school Russian works, because you have to understand Putin, even though he has this shirtless horse thing, like he's like 70 years old, bro. Like he's in shape, but he's 70. So he's a product of like old Russia, the USSR. So you have to understand that Russia went something similar. If you guys like history, if you look at the origins of World War II, it was generated because of the humiliation of how World War I ended, and that birthed whatever created this atrocity. So the same thing happened with Russia, because not the same thing, but similar thing happened with Russia, that humiliation. Because when Russia collapsed in around 1990, basically what happened is the entire Western world told Russia basically, yay, go fuck yourself. You're irrelevant. And that went on for a couple decades, actually. Even Obama is on record saying, well, that's a regional whatever. They're not even a superpower, something like that. So he, like, at this point in his career, he has nothing left to achieve as a politician in Russia. He's like the Tom Brady of Russian politics. What else does he have? He has nothing to achieve. He holds all the media sources. He's probably the richest guy on earth. Honestly, like people don't know how much money he has. By the way, official records, you can access it. It's in Russian. I can show you guys. But he owns a Lada Niva and a small dacha, which is like a summer home. And he has no assets. Like officially, he owes like $30,000 of assets, bro.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
Yeah. So the Navalny, who's actually in prison right now after they tried to put poison in his underwear. So they couldn't kill him. So the reason that he's in prison is because they exposed this castle that he built. Actually, never mind. Go Google Navalny and never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has nothing left to achieve. He can be king as long as he wants. There's no rivals. The system is completely rigged. So regionally, there's not going to be any issues. I don't think he's truly concerned about NATO. I mean, he knows NATO or the West are never going to attack Russia. There's simply no reason for that, or ever could be. His thing is, he still suffers from that. Well, there's a combination of two things. Number one, at age 70, usually all politicians start getting obsessed about their legacy. Like they don't like, it's not about pussy anymore. It's not about money. It's not about nothing. It's just about legacy at this point, right? He has everything. Like, what's the one thing he doesn't have? Like, if he probably is just saying to himself in his deepest, darkest places, like, if I can create the second coming of USSR or quasi USSR 2.0, whatever the fuck that means, I'm going to go down in Russian history as probably the greatest person to ever live, right? The thing is that the only piece that you can't do without for that project to ever happen is Ukraine. Like, you can do without Latvia.
Latvia is a mighty country.
You can do without Latvia, bro.
The mighty
I'm just
Latvia.
kidding. If you're from Latvia, I'm just kidding. Don't sue me, Latvian,
It's a
bro.
very nice place.
I'm saying, but you can do without Latvia, like you can do without a lot of countries. You can't do this project without Ukraine. Ukraine is not literally just an integral part of that project. They also, it's like the culture is identical. It's literally the same people. It's the same culture. It's a very similar language. They all speak Russian fluently. I mean, if you listen to interviews of Usyk, I don't know if you guys like boxing, but Usyk, the guy who won the heavyweight title against Anthony Joshua. Never mind. His name is Alexander Usyk. So he's like Ukrainian. I'm Russian, but I lived in what used to be Ukraine. But he's like Ukrainian. So when he speaks Ukrainian, it's Ukrainian proper. But he speaks Russian. He speaks better than me, bro. Like, it's perfect. The only difference is that they spell his name with an O instead of an A. Like when we say Alexander, it's like Alex. It's with an A. But when Ukrainians, they do it with an O. That's pretty much the whole difference in the culture, bro. This fucking like minutia thing. So it's not like it's literally an integral part of Russia. Now, I can guarantee you, nobody in Russia outside of Putin wants this to happen. They feel no animosity towards Ukraine. They feel there's no conflict there. There's literally nothing to fight about. They're literally the same people. It's like the US invading Canada. It's preposterous. So
Hey, don't compare us to Canadians, dude. Come on.
no, but I mean, like, it's just ridiculous to think of. It's the same thing. Like, there's nothing between Russia and Ukraine that's like negative, ever was. But he needs them to create this legacy. And or he can take the second best. He can say, well, if I can't get that, at least I'm going to be the guy who rolled back the time to 1989, where NATO can't get across Russia's border like it used to be before we fell apart. I want either that or I want that. But I want something to go down in history as like one of the greatest. Thing is, the US can't give him either. They can't give him that, and they can't give him that. So they're in the fucking Mexican standoff. they're like, they don't know what to do. So my theory is, and I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to hog the stream. If they can find some cookie to give to him that he can sell to himself as a monumental historical achievement, he's going to take it. If they'll force him, he'll probably invade. But I think they'll find somehow to buy. It can't be money. It has to be something that's not money. They have to buy him somehow. I mean, it's not an accident. Like, Russia is doing really well as far as they got a shit ton of money. The US is a little bit is divided, as you all know. He's taking advantage of pretty much of an opportunity.
But dude,
So is it a bluff, Tom? Do you think it's
Not exactly. It's not a bluff. No. I don't think he's bluffing like poker bluff. I think he's willing to do it, but I think he'll be willing to take something less as long as it's significant.
I think
Dude,
I
I just
understand.
don't see how he thinks he can win. I mean, I think NATO would freaking crush him, especially if the United States reacted. Our military is far superior to Russia.
but here's
He
the thing.
knows they won't. He knows they won't.
Here's the thing: the United States would not allow Russia to put assets into Canada or Mexico. So it's like NATO effectively joining, or the Ukraine joining NATO puts it right on the Russian border. And that's what he doesn't want. That's why I think the United States is also being completely unreasonable behind this. I'm like, listen, man, I mean, we just fought 20 years of wars. Do we need to keep doing this over and over again? I mean,
So-
Yeah, I'm
No-
not saying the Russians are evil maniacs, but I just don't see the.
By the
logic.
way, I'm saying that they are. And I'm 100% meaning it, bro.
You're definitely more of an expert than I am on Russia.
yeah, but I'm saying that some of this too is also Biden with his.
No, it's much more historical, Jay. This whole thing started. It's not Biden. It's every U.S. president since 1989. So this whole thing started when basically they told him, "Hey, you guys are basically falling apart. We won't put NATO on your borders. Don't worry." And then a couple of years later, they're like, "You remember that promise? Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Do something about it." And obviously they couldn't. And they basically and ever since then, like they feel offended, so to speak. But I mean, who's they? It's not the people. Russian people, they don't give a shit about NATO, bro, in fucking Ukraine. The people who feel offended is his buddies, is him and his buddies, the 70-year-olds that are now in power, that are a product of the USSR who went through the humiliation. They're like an NBA team who lost in the finals, like 4-0, got swept, and now they want revenge.
So you're saying it's kind of like similar to akin to the situation in China, which is how I understand it as well. They went through the century of humiliation, and it's a deeper desire than just money, power. It's also reputation. Well, power comes with that reputation in a way, but so Putin's looking to build his legacy, and Ukraine is, in your view, and what the West is missing out, part of that legacy, and he can't simply be bought out in traditional sense. It's not about energy, as the U.S. or Western media is kind of putting it, with Gazprom, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. We put those sanctions on that, and it's not about, or what I'm hearing, it's not necessarily about NATO or whatever, blah blah blah. It's mainly about Ukraine, its history with the USSR, what happened in the collapse. Okay, that's really good. Okay.
By the way, just to elaborate on this, I'm sorry to turn this into a nerd circle jerk of history. I apologize for doing
No,
this.
this is
I
a good
didn't
way
mean
for
to.
us to end the live stream, anyways.
But I for everybody in the chat, I can see the chat. So if people like fucking going crazy, like falling asleep in the chat, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But got him, coach. Got him. I ruined Strongman's channel. So about now on a serious note, China is a little bit different. There's one difference between the Russian situation. The Chinese situation is they have a necessity. So China is in deep shit. Russia is doing great. China is deep shit. They have an energy crisis. They have a demographic crisis which they can't solve. U.S. also has a demographic crisis, but they literally can open the gates to where Alex is at and bring in new employees every year as much as they need to bring young. So China has like massive demographic crisis, massive energy crisis, and their borders are fucking shit. They can't defend it. They're not in the they're doing this to actually create the sort of like the guy who's scared walking down the alley and it's dark and he's like, yeah, he's like screaming to let everybody know he's not afraid, but they're really like in deep toilet.
Well, I thought Russia had pretty low birth rates too. I don't know if they've corrected that recently, but I remember reading Russia, had sub replacement level birth rates as well.
Yeah, that's true as well. But at least like in Russia, like you do have. You don't have the same level of this urbanization and the one-child policy and the stuff they had. So the one-child policy was basically kind of you exasperate the problem. That's why they canceled it, but it's going to take like 30 years for this motherfucker to take effect. Mm-hmm. So also Russia does have like immigration into it, believe it or not. I don't know who's crazy enough to do that shit, but nobody like it. Yeah, so China is in the toilet, bro. China is in big problems. People don't realize this. China is just basically trying to create a situation where they're respected, but it's a necessity. For Russia, there's no necessity. They have so much energy money. They don't really need this shit. And if he was not 70 and he was thinking like really like politically, if he was like 50-year-old Putin, he would have never started this shit. Never. He's just fucking bored, bro.
Yeah. Also, one thing going on with China right now, the massive trade surplus is kind of masking out a lot of capital outflow. That's what we're seeing actually right now. So yeah, all those points that you said are very true. People don't actually highlight those, all the problems that China does have, because they spend a lot on propaganda in the West. I think it's like 50 billion a year is a number I've cited. Yes, they actually buy advertisements on our news media.
Hey, China, if you want to
that
give me
look
some money,
like
I'll
articles.
chill your country.
Yeah,
I
dude.
already chill one of your
I'll be
Bro, they yo,
My channel, come on.
what do you guys think about them buying an athlete, a U.S. athlete?
No,
Oh,
I
they
hate
bought,
it.
they bought
Totally do that. They
entire
totally do that.
NBA
Elite
is
captor.
by China.
No, but they bought that lady. I forgot her name. They bought the Olympic athlete, the Winter Olympic lady who took the gold. Like they literally bought a kid from San Francisco, an 8-year-old American girl, like to represent them.
They bought her.
Yeah, and
Well,
she
not
failed
really.
Not,
badly too. She fell.
Not literally. Not literally. I'm not saying literally. I'm just saying, like you know, it's.
I mean, I
her
don't.
father is Chinese, right? And her mother is American. So
I think
she's
his.
fluent Mandarin, and she won the
Isn't it
gold
her
medal.
mother Chinese, Alex? I think it
Something
was
like
her
that.
mother. Yeah, whatever. I don't
yeah.
know.
But
But she represented the U.S. until she was like 20 or something, and then she changed. And
but for
people,
me,
yeah,
I look at it and I just go, I don't care about the Olympics anyways. So if China wants to buy one of our athletes and they want to defect over there, I don't care. I wasn't planning on watching it. If she wants to do a sweet skate jump right outside of a Uyghur slave camp, that's her business. I don't care. It's like NBC.
Yo, Jay,
Order
did
for
you
the-
see the apology of John Cena? Like, as a Russian, that made me cringe, bro. Not even as an American. I was like,
But here's the thing about that. This is the one thing where I would say kind of take it with a grain of salt. If he didn't go out there and simp, he would have sunk that whole movie, which is ultimately involving other people for something he said. Now, I don't think he should have simped for China, but I do understand that argument where that movie cost $200 million. China is going to be one of the biggest markets. And so, you know, at some point, would you swallow your pride to help other people?
no, I know. I think the studio would have sued him. He had to do it.
And that's-
But all I'm saying,
Yeah.
like the way he did it, like he went extra deep
Oh,
with
yeah.
the, you know what I mean?
He could have just went on there and went, yeah, man, my bad. I misspoke in that interview. Apologize. It won't happen again. Instead,
He was crying and shit, speaking in Mandarin, like.
yeah. So
I need to Google it.
I don't even know what
I haven't seen it. I don't know
You
what
have
you
to
guys are
find
talking
it.
about, but I'm gonna find it.
I need to start reading
Yo,
the freaking news again.
Chris, you have to find this, bro. It's so funny, bro.
yeah, dude, it's John Cena simping in Mandarin to the people, and it's literally like a abused dog that just ate one of the abusers. Like, went over. But yeah, that is the one thing that I said even on my channel in one of my rants about John Cena is I go, do you think it's really that he's what he's doing is because he feels that way, or he's really doing it for the other people on the movie set? Because I'll be honest with you, if I was in a large movie like that and I said something that messed up, I would apologize. I wouldn't apologize like that, but I would go out and apologize because I don't.
No, he had to. He had to. You're right.
I don't want my actions to affect other people because that's not fair.
But I don't think they told him to cry and shit and like all of this, the extra stuff.
Yeah, dude, that was where you lost me. I'm like, John, you're a wrestler, which is one of the most manly sports or sports entertainment things you can do. And you're basically simping like a...
Chris, pull it up.
Look, we all know it's fake.
Yeah, pull it up. He's also the
No.
peacemaker. I love that
Wait.
show.
Chris, can you pull up what I just shared for the guys to see? No, I put up something in the share screen. You can pull it up from StreamYard.
All right, I'm kind of retarded with this, so.
Okay, so when you see my image,
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of retarded.
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Drop it in the comments.
It's one of my favorite quotes of all time. Like I was laughing at work when I thought of the idea of Alex Jones as the press secretary.
You like this, Jay? That's for you.
Right?
You like the horns?
It should be Cartman-esque authority. Respect my authority. Right.
Guys, I gotta run. I got it 2
All right,
p.m.
man.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for letting me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you
buddy.
so
Tom,
much.
I see you next Saturday at our interview. Remember?
You got it. And if you guys want, I'm happy to jump on your channels as well. Just Alex asked.
All
Not
right.
not strongman. He can go fuck himself. Everybody else, I can come on.
I'm used to hate. It's okay.
No, I'm
Why don't you
joking.
come
I
here,
actually
man, more?
no, actually, I wanted to get him on our podcast, but he works when we do it, so we'll figure it out.
I know. I'm a loser with a job. I'm sorry.
So
I pay my bills and take care of my family. Later, boys. It's been fun.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Guys, I
All
also
right,
gotta
last
go.
comments.
but
We're
thank
shutting
you.
this down. What do y'all got to say?
Well, we're gonna wrap
I
it up. Okay.
I saw a
Go ahead.
guy, healthy growth, commented towards me. Yeah, I don't have enough time to answer that, but I'll be sure to actually try to cover that or something akin to that because
What was the
yes,
question?
it was way back, and I just want to let that person know I'm not ignoring them. They were telling me about reserves and stuff like that. They wanted me to address that comment, but
Yeah, and
that's a long answer.
You know,
And
Fabio has a YouTube channel, guys. You can actually go subscribe to it, and he maybe he'll cover the topics you guys ask about. I don't know. It's
The,
possible.
the request list is huge.
I also tell people this.
You better get working, boy.
No one person knows everything about personal finance, investing, and
No.
economics.
Excuse me.
Even
It's in his name. Look at it.
Hello, you're looking at him.
Dudes, I really gotta go, but thank you so much for inviting
All right.
me. And thanks again. Awesome. Goodbye. See you next Saturday.
See
All right,
ya.
brother.
Yeah, Alex.
Have a good. Hey, man,
All right.
hit me up if you get to the VA and you got questions. I'll try and answer. I might not. I don't know everything, but I'm pretty experienced in navigating the system with that.
Okay, I'll let you know. Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
man.
Chris, Fabio. See you later.
See you, man. See you later.
All right, guys, just subscribe to all our channels, especially mine. I mean, these
Yes.
guys
Well,
are
Well,
both.
dude, we'll see if Meet Kevin shows up, man. I will. If Meet Kevin shows up on your channel, I will go on my channel and be like, respect the balls. Don't agree with anything he has to say about investing, pretty much, but I respect the fact that he's willing to walk into that, tsunami of crap.
yeah.
Maybe it'll be a good conversation. Maybe he'll repent and be like, "Yeah, Chris, I'm buying BT." Be like, "All right, good interview. See you later." We'll see.
Yeah, maybe, man. Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be cordial. I think it's gonna be cordial.
It's going to go better than the episode I did that I still feel bad about, that live stream with that Tesla guy.
Oh, that guy was an idiot. Oh my god, I couldn't watch it, man. I was like, "Oh, this guy."
I don't want to crap on the guy, man. I mean, he believes what he believes, and I still don't think he understands what I was saying.
People believe the Earth's flat. I mean,
Yeah,
you're an idiot. You're an idiot. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Well, dude, in all honesty, part of the problem was I let my ego, come into that interview, and that's why I feel bad that it went that way, because it wasn't entertaining for the audience. It wasn't fun for me. And, I thought about it later and I was like, dude, you were weak in the fact that you let some of his insults get to you. And you can't let that do it. You just have to make your logical arguments, because none of us can predict the future. So I'm sure your meeting with Kevin will go better, because I think he's more reasonable. And also, I don't think you'll get your ego caught up in it like I did. That was just a bad interview, and I apologize to everybody for it. I'm not going to trash the dude. He tried to say I was blowing him up online, and I'm like, dude, the only thing I said was that's exhausting, and you can't honestly tell me that it wasn't exhausting for you too.
It was exhausting watching it for 5 minutes.
Well, dude, I was sitting there and I'm like, I kept searching in my brain. I go, okay, this guy's not understanding what I'm trying to get up. Why does he not understand am I doing a bad job communicating this? So
I want a guy like that on the show. I need a guy like that on the show. I need to pull up the assumptions. I need to walk through with some guy like that, and I'm not gonna question any of it. I just want to hear someone out, because I can't find one in my inner circle. So
But
send him
Fabio-
over.
Hey, but yeah, hook 'em up, man.
Fabio,
I'll
Yeah,
watch that.
send him
It's,
over.
it's hilarious though that you and I both came up with the 52% compounded annual growth to justify it, and you did it in a way more complicated,
Completely
smarter way than I
coincidental.
could do it.
Completely coincidental, by the way.
You know, when I said that and you go, yeah, dude, I came up with the same. I'm like,
It's almost like there's math behind it. It's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, completely.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. You have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go.
All right, guys.
Get ready for Kevin.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
it's soon.
go hit the heavy bag, play
Yeah.
Eye of the Tiger while you're getting ready.
Yeah, I'll probably just sit on my couch and watch YouTube or something. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing. All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right, brother. Yeah. All right. See you, Fabio.